Opposites attract. Yes, opposites do attract, but it's a little more complicated than that. I was actually just talking about compatibility right here. Um, that's for a different video right there, guys. I was showing, basically proving with statistics. I was showing what's the most attractive type according to statistics, and basically it's the STPs, because the reason is they attract the highest number of women. So it's not saying that all women are going to like STPs. Basically, the logic goes like this: SFJs are the most common female type, ESFJ, and then ISFJ. And so extroverts are attracted to introverts. S's like other S's, F's like T's, J's like P's. So therefore, ISTP is the most attractive type, and ESTP second. And this is not for degrees of attractiveness, but the types that are going to attract the highest number of women. Because logically, that's the highest number of women is ESFJs and ISFJs. And of course, it'll vary between SFJs, the specific things they like in a guy, but this is generally speaking. So anyway, where was I, guys? Got no kids, no wife, only do things I want to do, love my life. You sure about that, though? Like, how old are you? Because studies show that guys who never end up married aren't happy. So, I mean, never end up married and having kids. And I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying I don't believe you, but maybe does part of you feel unfulfilled, like that you're missing something? I just have a hard time believing that. I keep forgetting to like all these guys. Harsh truth most men don't want to hear. Oh, that's the one where I said if your wife's bitching at you, it means you're not being a man. I remember my brother talking to me about the topic of women nagging. He's an INFP. Says that women should stop nagging because it doesn't make men listen. That's technically true. But he never gave a solution to the problem on how they can get men to listen to them. To be honest, I think he is wrong. They are nagging for a reason at that point. The men are just making things worse by either tuning things out or forgetting. I feel like some men are not aware of this behavior or chose not to notice it. So it's a little more complicated than that. So men have a responsibility, and so do women. He says that women should stop nagging because it doesn't make men listen. That's technically true. It's not a good idea to nag. All I was saying was there's a logical reason for it. Why women nag. It usually means you're not being a man. You're not being... Basically, when a woman is nagging and being bitchy, she's expressing her insecurity in your ability to provide, to protect, to provide, or now or in the future. So something's missing. Something is missing in the man equation there, which, most of us fall short at some point. So I'm not judging you. I've been nagged at by ex-girlfriends, and none of us guys are perfect. No women are perfect. We're all imperfect. I think probably one of the most neglected and important aspects of a healthy relationship is understanding that we're imperfect, and trying to, there's certain things that are deal breakers, but at some point there's certain things you're going to have to accept in the other person and just forgive. And that's how, they made things work in the old days. You ask any old couples that have been together for 50, 60 years, every single one of them says one component is, working things out instead of breaking up when there's differences. Nowadays, there's a lot of women, if there's any fights at all, they want to break up. It's like, oh, well, if we fought, then it's over. It has to be perfect, right? So a lot of women have this idealistic mentality nowadays. Whereas in the old days, they stuck it out. They made it work, I think a lot of it is you need to accept some faults in other people, that some things are just not going to change. It's the way it is. I mean, I've spoken about that in another video. Someone who's very attractive, who's someone you're really drawn to and attracted to, is also going to irritate you due to the law of polarity, basically.